Most people are aware of the story from the Exodus where the 10 plagues inflicted on Egypt have finally resulted in Pharaoh letting the slaves free, and the Israelites making their way out of Egypt reach an impasse at the Red Sea. This is just one of many stories in the Torah of Moses using his staff to perform a miracle. Exodus 14 verses 15 through 21. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Why do you cry out to me? Speak to the Israelites so that they set out. And you, lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it so that the Israelites can go in the middle of the sea on the dry land." And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh moved the sea with a strong east wind all night, and he made the sea become dry ground, and the waters were divided. While the Israelites are out in the desert, the Amalekites, a tribe that inhabited the Negev, swept in to attack them. Exodus 17 verses 8 through 13 reads, "And Amalek came and fought with Israel at Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, Choose men for us, and go out, fight against Amalek tomorrow. I will be standing on the top of the hill, and the staff of God will be in my hand." And Joshua did as Moses had said to him, to fight with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And when Moses raised his hand, Israel would prevail, but when he rested his hand, Amalek would prevail. But the hands of Moses were heavy, and they took a stone, and placed it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on each side, and his hands were steady until sundown. And Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. So the success of the Israelites in battle was tied to the power of Moses' staff. And what's important to note is that Yahweh did not command Moses to oversee the battle in this way. It was Moses' idea, and he was assisted by Aaron and Hur. And ultimately Joshua and his army prevailed with the aid of the staff. This next story is where the Israelites are again out in the desert and they're thirsty. It actually takes place right before the battle we just discussed a moment ago. God tells Moses that he can make a wellspring for them to drink from by tapping a rock. Exodus 17 verse 6. "Look, I will be standing before you there on the rock in Horeb, and you will strike the rock, and the water will come out from it, and the people will drink." And Moses did so before the eyes of the elders of Israel. A similar story is presented in the book of Numbers, but this one is most intriguing, as we shall find out. Numbers chapter 20, verses 8 through 12. "Take the staff and summon the community, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will give water. Bring out for them water from the rock, and let the community and their livestock drink." So Moses took the staff from before Yahweh just as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron summoned the assembly to the presence of the rock. And he said to them, "Please listen, you rebels. Can we bring out water for you from this rock?" Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his staff twice. And abundant water came out, and the community and their livestock drank. But Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you have not trusted in me to regard me as holy in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this assembly into the land that I have given to them." So Yahweh told them to simply speak to the rock, but they struck it with the staff. Either way, whether or not it's Yahweh's commanding them to make water spring from the rock by using a staff, this passage in Numbers chapter 20 brings up a highly intriguing question, since in this case they used the staff against the rock in a way that God did not command. In fact, this is explicitly done against the manner Yahweh commanded, and it is against his will. Yahweh admonishes them, yet the miracle still worked. This is highly suggestive that the staff itself does have magical properties, or at least as a tool which taps into and channels the Metadivine. And Moses is aware of this fact about his staff. And of course, it's extremely reminiscent of what we today would colloquially think of as a magic wand. In fact, ancient stories of magical staves such as this are the very inspiration behind magic wands.